won't your organisation engage in peace talks with the Israelis?
You don't mean exactly peace talks. You mean capitulation, surrendering.
Why not just talk?
Talk to whom?
Talk to the Israeli leaders.
That's kind of conversation between the sword and the neck, you mean?
Well, if there were no swords and no guns in the room, you could still talk.
No, I had never seen any talk between a colonialist case and a national liberation movement.
But despite this, why not talk?
Talk about what?
Talk about the possibility of not fighting.
Not fighting for what?
Not fighting at all, no matter what for.
Yeah, and people usually fight for something and they stop fighting for something. So you can't tell me even why should we speak about what?
Well, stop fighting.
For what? Or talk about stop fighting, why?
Talk to stop fighting, to stop the death and the misery, the destruction, the pain.
The misery and the destruction and the pain and the death of whom?
Of Palestinians, of Israelis, of Arabs.
Of the Palestinian people who are uprooted, thrown in the camps, living in starvation, killed for 20 years, and forbidden to use even the name Palestinians.
They're better that way than dead, though.
Maybe to you, but to us, it's not. To us, to liberate our country, to have dignity, to have respect, to have our mere human rights, is something as essential as life itself.
Hey, Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops of Great Millstone. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives to do so. To the scattered elect across the four corners of the earth and those among the heathen nations that look like the heathen nations pursuant to Jeremiah 12:9, known as the speckled birds. I am Disciple Parium, a follower of Great Millstone, coming to you with a lesson in truth and sincerity. Now, that clip that you just watched was a leader, I'm not sure exactly what time frame, looks like around maybe the 70s or so, by the name of Hassan Kanafani, okay? And so I want to title this lesson, What Conversation Can the Sword Have with the Neck? Now, I want to go first off, lead off in Psalms 55 and 21. Now, as you saw, this Hassan gentleman seemed to be, pretty intelligent. Now, I want to start off saying this: the land that they're currently in right now and what's going on. The men of Great Millstone, the true Israelites. We do not have a say-so or a dog in this fight, okay? But at the same time, we're not going to rile up these people who are suffering. Now, the people who are there right now came during the time of the Ottoman Turk Empire, okay? So technically that land is not theirs. And then we already know about the small hats, and I'll touch more into that later on. But those are Khazarians who converted into Judaism and created Judaism, religion of Judaism, okay? And it's definitely not their land either. So that interviewer who was interviewing Mr. Hassan or Ghassan was very crafty in his wording and was not very precise, and just off the bat was kind of painting Mr. Hassan and their plight in a bad light. And that's what these people do, who are in control of the media, mainly the small hats. Okay, so this is Psalms 55 and 21. The words in his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Okay, that's what this devil does. They are bloodthirsty. They will not cease or stop. But we are to not meddle in those affairs and just keep our eyes single, all right, follow the straight path, and know that prophecy has to take place. Okay, so I want to go to Isaiah 2 and 4, and I want to see some of these Christians answer this question, because this is a prophecy that has not taken place and is supposed to take place, and it's very foretelling of who the people should be in the land as far as what should not be happening. Okay, so this is titled God's Universal Reign or Future Reign. Okay, this is Isaiah 2 and 4. And it says, and he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people. Okay, this is speaking of Yahweh Shai. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares. Sword being the weapon, the modern day gun, and those plowshares being instruments of husbandry, farming. Okay, and their spears into pruning hooks, another instrument of farming. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. And you have to ask yourself, seriously, since 1948, since these small hats were placed into that land and created the state of Israel, has there not been any time of war? Or has there been any peace? And quite frankly, the answer is no. Okay, so that right there is a clue letting you know that these people are not the people that fit this prophecy. Okay. Okay. We go down to Genesis 27. And this is speaking of Esau, Edom, and their blessing. Okay. We're going to read from verses 38 down to 40. And right here, you see Esau kind of groveling to his father's side. Wait, but what are you going to give me? That kind of bitch ass spirit. So this is verse 38. It says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Okay. The oils and natural resources, and of the dew of the heaven from above. Verse 40, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off his neck. Okay? And, obviously we know that Jacob held the heel of Esau, and that's kind of a foreshadowing, letting you know that, these curses that are placed upon us currently in Deuteronomy 28th chapter are going to befall these people, the Idumeans, okay? And then this will be our turn. The rightful people, Yashar Allah, the He Prince of Power. Okay? Let's go to Revelations 6, verses 4. And it reads, and there went out another horse that was red, Esau, all right, and power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. All right. That's why you have to understand these. You can't just read the Bible from left to right. It's according to Isaiah 28 and 10, it's precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. You have to have that spirit working with you and be baptized in the fire, all right, to understand this. Be taught by elders, all right. So let's go to Zechariah 9 and 6. It says, "And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines." And when you get that word bastards in the interlinear, Strong's H4464, Mamzara, okay? And what that means is, let's see, obviously, a bastard child, incest, illegitimate child, okay? And that's what that means. All right. So that bastard is speaking of Amalek, okay? The small hats, the ones that are currently in the land today. All right, the JOOs, as we like to affectionately call them. All right. So in order to prove that, you got to ask the question, what makes Amalek a bastard? And this is a good time, if you're taking notes, if you have note cards, write this down, okay? So what makes Amalek a bastard? Well, let's go to Genesis chapter 36, verse 12. And this is a lineage, descendants of Esau. You see that right there, right? It says, "And Timnah was a concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to him Amalek. And these were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife." All right. So there's two different branches that branched off, Slaki, from Esau. All right. And I'm sorry. Yeah, from Esau. And I want to go ahead and get this. Let's see if I could show this in my book, and I hope it comes up very clearly. Let me see if I can find the camera function. And I might have to get a little light because it's a little dark here in the office. Lucky. Just bear with me for a second. Boom. All right, so this is, all right, a genealogy of Esau, okay? And this is Genesis 25 and 25, and it kind of breaks it down. But on this side, we come down, is Eliphaz, Timnah, and it comes down to Amalek, right? And Amalek was the ones who fought Israel coming out of Egypt, pursuant to Exodus 17 and 8, all right? And this breaks it down beautifully because you have the Amalekites on one side, and then you have the Idumeans on the other side, all right? But what's happening is these two essentially are fighting each other, all right? Amalek has a lot of control of many things in today's world, right? But then Esau is going to come around and fight, even though they're showing to be working with them, but they're really going to be fighting, okay? All right. So I just want to show you that, and I do have that in my one of my Bibles. And it's a beautiful thing to have that thing right there, to have the genealogies, and it goes right through that. All right, so and Amalek is Strong's H6002, and it goes to, it's pronounced Imalok. It's one who dweller in the valley. All right, son of Eliphaz, his concubine, he's the grandson of Esau. I mean, people are basically related, okay? And so what you're seeing is this bastard is trying to be both savior and oppressor. Okay, well, let's go into that. All right, so this is a quote from Madame Gao from I think the show or the movie Daredevil, and it kind of goes into what them trying to be both savior and oppressor. You can't be both. Okay, it says those who stand for nothing fall for anything, and we saw that during this the C-19, the Jabberwocky, whatever you want to call it, the Beetlejuice era. All right, but then, so this is the quote from the movie. It says, "Man cannot be both savior and oppressor, light and shadow. One has to be sacrificed for the other. Choose and choose wisely, or others will choose for you." All right. So now we'll go to the book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10 to 18. "Never trust in thy enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know what his rust have not been altogether wiped away." Verse 12, "Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place, neither let him sit at thy right hand, and lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith." Verse 13, it says, "Who will pity a charmer that is bitten by a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts?" All right. And we saw a lot of people affected by the whole C-19. Okay. So one that goes to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. Verse 16, "An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips," just like this interviewer was doing, okay? "But in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and thou and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee." Verse 18, "And he will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance." Okay, so we're not supposed to trust in our enemies. We're supposed to know who they are, because the Lord does have righteous indignation. Let's go to Psalms 139, 22 to 24. And it reads, "I hate them with perfect hatred. I count them mine enemies." Oh, but the Lord's loving. He shows grace to everybody. Okay, wrong. "Search me, O Yahweh, O power, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts." And we should be saying these things in our prayers, okay? That we should be wanting to increase. Okay, verse 24, "And see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting." Okay, and the Lord, he hates those that touch the apple of the Most High's eye. All right, go to Exodus 21 and 16. "And he that stealeth of man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death." All right. And what's happening here in Babylon the Great. You know, if the Lord were to come back today with his son, we're in this man's hands. Okay? Guilty as charged. Let's go to Numbers 35, 33. And it reads, So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So there's going to be a recompense that the Lord's going to require. You best believe that. I want to finish off in Revelations. So we like to say a oldie but goodie inside joke. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Okay? So I pray that this lesson was edifying. Akim Akwath. You know, we know that many people know that these people are on the wrong side of history. All right? And it's lucky. And you know, I have one more precept, so I believe, let's see. Trying to find it, so just bear with me for a second. This is Proverbs. Call Allah Yahweh Yahushai. Proverbs 29 and 2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And that's what's happening right now. Again, so all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and to the men of Great Millstone pushing out this truth. You know, and I just pray this lesson was edifying. And on to the next. Shalom.